for the very wealthy. Most of the fiscal consolidation off of the backs of the poor, working poor, particularly through deep cuts in Medicaid, the healthcare program that affects people who are really under the poverty line, and along with cuts across the board in other sort of key drivers of investment and innovation in the country. That's the program he's endorsed. That's the program he's stuck with. That's a very right-wing program in my view, and I don't see how he moves back to the center from that. The primaries also drove him to the right on two other key issues, which I think present him with distinct constituency problems. One was this fight we've had on contraception and whether contraception should be viewed as a primary health care right that people can access without as part of their basic insurance package. And how they got into that debate is sort of a little bit crazy, a little bit odd, and maybe in part because triggered by a proposal that the administration first made. But they got there, and they looked, I think, overall as though they lost considerable ground with independent women during that period of time when Santorum in the primary and the Hill Republicans were driving the party very far to the right on the issue when people began to question the basic notion that women ought to have basic access to contraception. So that, I think, put him in a hole that was not wholly of his making, but he sort of had to run to the right to get there. I think he has to fix that, in my view. He has to figure out a way to kind of come back to the center particularly with independent women. So far, he hasn't put any proposals out that would do that, or really put out a campaign strategy that would do that. But I think he's got to do that. The other thing that, in order to secure the nomination, that he's done is he took the most extreme conservative position on immigration, aligned himself with the most radical voices in the party on the issue of immigration, far to the right of Gingrich, as you know, and even Santorum. So that's caused him a huge problem, I think, with the Latino community. And I think that is not easily fixable.
And people suggest he could fix it by appointing Rubio as his vice presidential running mate, but that won't work, will it?
I don't see that. I mean, I first of all, whether how much effect the vice president has on overall boosting people's image of the president, you could debate that to begin with. Second of all, Rubio is a little more moderate than Romney is, but Romney stuck with support from really the most virulent anti-immigrant wing of the Republican Party, and has taken those positions. So I think it's a little bit hard to slip that noose. And then third, and this is perhaps a bit unknown going into the race, is how a Cuban American plays in particularly in those states where Romney needs to improve his performance amongst Mexican Americans, is a pretty untested and unknown factor. And I'm kind of dubious and skeptical that Rubio helps him very much. Even in Florida, there was a poll out last week that showed Romney against Obama without vice presidential names, Obama leading by 3, and in his home state, when you added Rubio and Biden, he was up by 5. So he actually lost ground with Rubio on the ticket. So, I don't. My guess is, and I think all the signals coming out of their campaign, is they're going to go with a more traditional, fiscal budget, business-oriented Republican ticket, and I would bet they don't.